I caught my best friend cheating with my partner, so I got revenge. Started with a gut feeling, something I couldn't quite put into words. Call it intuition, call it paranoia, but I knew something was off. My husband, Mark, had been distant, his glued to his hip like it held state secrets. And my best friend, Jess? She'd been weeks, always busy when I suggested getting together. At first, I convinced myself I was overthinking. Jess had been my ride or die since college, and Mark and I had been married for 8 years. Surely they wouldn't betray me like that, but the nagging feeling wouldn't go away, so I decided to trust my instincts. One evening, Mark came home late, reeking of cologne I didn't recognize. "Late meeting," he muttered, avoiding I nodded, pretending to believe him, but my stomach earned. The morning, I called off work, claiming I was sick. When Mark left for the office, I followed him. He didn't go to work. Instead, he drove to a fancy hotel downtown I parked a few spaces away, my hands on the steering wheel. Minutes later, Jess's car pulled in, and she stepped out, looking like she'd stepped off a runway. My heart shattered as watched walk into the hotel, the same one Mark had just entered. I sat for felt like hours crying, shaking, and trying to piece together how I'd missed the signs. But then, something inside me snapped. I wouldn't let them destroy me. I'd make them regret ever crossing me. The revenge, I didn't confront them immediately. No, I needed one that would hurt them as much as hurt me. I started by gathering evidence. I hired a private investigator to snap photos of them together, documenting their affair in excruciating detail. When I had enough, I quietly emptied our joint bank accounts and transferred the money to a new one in my name. I canceled credit cards, changed passwords, and even sold Mark's precious vintage car, his pride and joy. On Craigslist next, I targeted Jess. I knew her deepest secret. She'd been embezzling from her job for. I anonymously tipped off her boss, attaching proof of her theft. Within days, she fired and under investigation. Finally, it was time to confront. I waited until he came home one night, smug as ever, completely unaware of the storm I'd unleashed. "We need to talk," I said calmly, setting a folder on the table. He, opening it to find the photos of him and Jess. His face went pale. "Laura, I can explain." "No need," I interrupted, smiling coldly. "I've already filed for divorce. Oh, and I took the liberty of moving out most of your stuff. You'll find it on the curb." He stared at me, stunned. "You can't do this." "I did," I said, tossing the car keys to his precious sports car onto the table. "By the way, Jess won't be to help you out. She's a little busy dealing with an embezzlement scandal." His jaw dropped. "What the hell, Laura?" I leaned in, my voice low and steady. "You should have thought about the consequences before you cheated on with my best friend. Now get out of my house." He left, sputtering and furious. But I didn't care. For the first time in months, I felt alive. I'd back my power, and I wasn't to let anyone take it from me again. It took time to heal, but I emerged stronger than ever. I started a new job, made new friends, and even began dating again. As Mark and Jess? Last I heard, they'd tried to make their relationship work, but the guilt and fallout from my revenge tore them apart. They say living well is the best revenge, and I agree, but a little karma doesn't hurt.